24-year-old Katie Healy from the United Kingdom has arrived in the country for the vacant WBF World Super bantamweight title. She will fight against South Africa's Matshidiso, the Scorpion Queen, Mokebisi, at Steve Tshwete Banquet Hall in Middelburg, Mpumalanga, and that's on the 8th of this month. The arrival of Healy follows that of the Filipino boxer Jhaleel Payao, who touched down at OR Tambo International Airport in Kempton Park on Monday. The Asian is challenging South African boxer Thato captain Charisma Bonokoane, the current holder of the World Boxing Federation Junior Featherweight Intercontinental title. The J4Joy International Boxing Tournament has organized a total of 6 bouts for the day. And for the first time in South African boxing, 4 titles will be held on the line in one day come Friday the 8th. Katie Healy will join us in studio. But first, Jacob Nisi and Squire Arnold Ndodile from J4Joy Boxing Promotions. What a pleasure having you both here. Who do I start with? The CEO, of course. He gets to answer all the questions. Tell us a little bit more about J4Joy. You are definitely bringing world-class boxing to South Africans. I mean, boxing fans are excited.
Yes, the chairman mandated me from last year. He actually taught me boxing. I knew nothing about boxing. And then he tasked me and said, this is the quality I want. Take your time, let's plan it, let's do it properly. So this is actually our 3rd tournament, but it's our first international tournament where we're hosting a world title and the Intercontinental title, SA title and a provincial title.
Well, you clearly make it look very easy. What is it like bringing the girl from Wolverhampton, Katie Healy, to our shores? What got her here?
The ambition to try and lift South African boxing and put it on a world stage. So it needs someone brave. So Mr. Mnisi, as a businessman, is very brave. He said, if you'll do it properly, I'll go all out. And here we are today. They've both landed. Mr. Payao from Asia landed earlier in the week. And today we had a warm welcome for Ms. Katie Healy at the airport. And the excitement is very high.
I mean, Mr. Mnisi, women's boxing.
Yes.
I mean, we know boxing has been lagging for a couple of years. What made you get behind not just boxing, but women's boxing as a whole?
Actually, it's from, I was actually a boxer myself. And I know the struggle of being a boxer, not getting fights. But in a nutshell, you know, we are all equal in South Africa. 50-50, as you know. Women are now being introduced in boxing fraternity, where they are actually competing in the world-class tournaments. I mean, they are doing very well. So we said, let's make sure and balance everything. Women and men together in the ring, fighting for titles. Explain
how this tournament is going to work.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 undercards. So we've got people who are fighting for the first time on a professional stage. We were doing a development program earlier during COVID lockdown, and the people who partook in that development graduated this year and became professional registered boxers with BSA. So we decided to give them a stage to debut on an international platform. So there'll be 4 rounders who will be fighting for the very first time. And then we move on to a 6th rounder before we go on to our 4 titles, where we'll have the Mpumalanga provincial title, long awaited between Mokebisi and Mokebisi, and then move on to the SA title between Nemushungwa and Malindi, who is the current title holder of SA. And then our 2 big ones, the Intercontinental with Payao and Bonokoane. We're excited to see what's going to happen. And then the world title, the women's world title, which is the most exciting bout. That's what's got South Africa buzzing today.
I mean, you mentioned COVID-19, Mr. Mnisi. I know you're a businessman and you're here to make money as well. What made you start and resurrect boxing during a pandemic?
Actually, we planned the boxing to be hosted. Then here the pandemic came. But we said, no, we'll stage the fight, regardless of the pandemic, not having numbers inside the area, the venue. Then we hosted it successfully in Sandton Convention Center. That was the biggest of them all, of which it was our first tournament. Then we did the second one, same in Middelburg. Then we are going to do the second one, the 3rd one, of which we are still going on and on and on.
I mean, it's obviously we're thrilled as boxing fans, but you must be facing challenges, I would imagine.
Yes, there are challenges. It is by no means easy. We may make it look easy, but it is by no means easy, especially now the extra logistics of now having to host international athletes into the country and the pressure of it having to be done properly.
Well, gentlemen, we cannot wait come the 8th of July, but we're excited to bring this female boxer all the way from Wolverhampton in the United Kingdom, Katie Healy, and we'll be excited to be catching up with her, finding a little bit more about what she thinks her South African opponent will be up against when we get to this bout that's happening in Middelburg, in Mpumalanga. As always, exciting times here on SABC Sport. We have partnered with J4Joy to bring you this boxing bout, and Mpumalanga could be the next boxing capital. Who knows? The way it's going, it's where it's at. And you know what? We have boxing fans rallying behind the supporters. Katie Healy, welcome to SABC Sports. Exciting to have you as always. We were talking about where you're from Wolverhampton. Your family's not here. You're far away from home. How excited are you? How does this make you feel being here?
It's an amazing opportunity, and thank you ever so much for having me. I'm just very, very grateful for all of the work that has been put in behind the scenes, and for J4Joy for putting all this together for us. But yeah, it's a very exciting opportunity that I'm looking forward to.
So before we start, in this division that you're in, you've got the Scorpion Queen. What do you know about your opponent this far?
I know that she's very good. She's talented. Her nickname, the Scorpion Queen, kind of gives it away a little bit of what her speciality is in the ring. But no, I know that I'm going to be going in there next Friday, and she's a very, very good opponent. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And to be honest, I thrive when I've got a tough opponent in front of me. It almost makes me shine. So yeah, I'm very, very excited.
So we know that's kind of her alter ego. Do you have one, perhaps?
I don't think I do. I kind of just, the way that I do it is I go in the ring and my focus is fully on the fight. I adapt a fight plan, obviously, to the opponent. We kind of have a game plan A, B and C, because it doesn't always go to plan. But in terms of nicknames, no, I don't have one as of yet, but the fans might come up with one afterwards. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, Katie Healy, I can always think of wolves and something
there
related to that.
There we go.
Well, we look forward to the 8th of July, joining you in Middelburg and Mpumalanga, and, you know, ringside, cheering on the women in sport.
Oh, thank you ever so much.
As always, exciting to have women's sport growing by the dozens, and they're throwing their boxing gloves in here. Bringing you all the best is SABC News and Sport.